just when everyone is buzzing about the awesome first full trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, starring the always excellent Karl Urban as Johnny Cage, another project adjacently connected to Karl Urban just got announced. A new Judge Dredd, and we're about to go through everything that is known and can be surmised about it. One of the things we do know though is that it will be directed by Taika. I'll ruin your mythos in a minute, baby. Waititi.
No. Wait.
First things first, I mentioned Karl Urban because he is the definitive on-screen Judge Dredd to date. And he has made it clear on several occasions that Dredd is a favorite role of his that he would be eager to revisit. There is, however, no indication as of yet that he will return for this. We can also say right away that this won't be a Dredd 2, and it won't feature that look or those uniforms, as that entire iteration of Judge Dredd belongs to another production company, so we're looking at a reboot here. Let's see what more we can say, based on this Hollywood Reporter exclusive, Taika Waititi tackling Judge Dredd movie in hot package hitting Hollywood, which reads, Taika Waititi and Pearce. Those two names have studio heads and executives sitting up this week as one of the hottest packages of the year hits the Hollywood marketplace. Waititi, the Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit filmmaker, is attached to direct a new feature film take on Dredd, the popular and violent British comic book character. Pearce, the scribe known for his action movie-filled resume thanks to titles such as Fall Guy and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, is attached to write the script. What this means then is that at this point in time there is no studio, no distributor, no funding, and if that doesn't change fast, there will be no movie. Because this article isn't really for us, the audience. It's for the head honchos of the Hollywood studios, letting them know that Taika Waititi and Pearce have the Judge Dredd rights. And they have tied them up with themselves as director and writer, so if you Hollywood head honchos want a whole Judge Dredd universe, give us a call and place your bid. That's what this exclusive is ultimately about. It's not announcing to us, the audience, that a new Judge Dredd movie is coming. It's announcing to the Hollywood decision makers that the auction for who wants to have Judge Dredd on their streaming service is about to begin. Because that's what's really on the table here, not just one movie. That's just to get the ball rolling. Case in point, the very last line of the piece reads, the desire is to see the movie launch a Dredd universe that could be explored with additional movies and shows across various platforms. That's Waititi and Pearce saying that streamers in particular are encouraged to apply for while they'll take a movie deal. What they really want is an overall deal that includes movies and TV series, kind of like Amazon will be doing with James Bond. That's what they're hoping for here. And before we move on, if you like the kind of analysis and breakdown you're getting here, then please smash the like on this video. Help share it in your socials so more can see what this really is about. While you do that, I'll move on to the next big question everyone will have, namely, who is going to be Judge Dredd? Well, that depends entirely on who picks up on the deal. If it's picked up by someone who happens to be a fan of Karl Urban, or who have a business relationship with him and therefore demand he be part of the package, they'll get Karl Urban. If not, chances are they'll get someone else, and whoever picks up this package is going to have a say in who ends up being cast as Dredd. So at this point in time, before we know who picks this up, predicting casts is kind of hopeless. Though many in Hollywood are in love with Pedro Pascal, so I guess that's always an option. Would you be excited about that prospect? Let Hollywood know your feelings in the comments. But now when we know that we don't know who is going to be cast, let's jump back a bit and see what more is said here. Sources named Pearce and Waititi maintain that Pearce and Waititi both grew up with the books and are friends and have been trying to find a project to work on together for years. So, Pearce is someone I, by default, can give the benefit of the doubt, based on his past output. But as the intro might have given you some idea of, I'm very skeptical about what Taika Waititi can bring to proceedings as director. And those concerns are not lessened one bit by him proclaiming to be a fan of the books. On the contrary, in this case, that if anything makes it worse, and I'm about to go through why. You know that scene in Civil War, that movie from last year, where the one guy says he's American, but then that other guy answers, but what kind of American are you? That's the question I would have for Taika Waititi. He may very well be a fan of Judge Dredd, but what kind of a fan? See, that series has been going on now for nigh on 5 decades, and throughout that time, it has shifted back and forth in tone, theme, and style so many times it would give you a whiplash. So which tone, style, and stories are you a fan of, Taika? The really good ones that deal with democracy and the price of freedom versus tyranny? Or that deal with cloning and determinism? Or authority corruption and overreach? Or the fun filler stories about fatties? Or the garbage fillers where Dredd arrests the literal Satan or stops regular alien invasions? You see, the reason why Dredd starring Karl Urban is so good isn't just because of Karl Urban, but because writer, producer, and for all intents and purposes director Alex Garland honed in on the more mature themes I mentioned there. And that's where Judge Dredd truly shines. With Taika Waititi, however, based on his previous output, all of which I have enjoyed by the way, except Thor Love and Thunder, which everyone hates, but based on his past output, it seems plausible to me that he might be drawn to the, shall we say, more colourful Dredd stories. A few of which are fun, but many more of which, frankly, suck ass. I mean, he'd do Judge Death for sure, maybe even the Judge Child quest, and I'm sure he'd nailed something like the Day the Law Died storyline. But now that a whole new generation has gotten over Stallone and see Karl Urban and that vision as Dredd, I worry that the Judge Dredds by Taika Waititi won't be received any better than Thor, Love and Thunder. What might help keep Taika in check there, of course, is writer Drew Pearce, but I can't say where he stands on Dredd. And that's the thing, no one knows what Pearce and Waititi intends to do but Pearce and Waititi. And for all I know, their combined take might be the best take for Judge Dredd yet, or it might be a complete disaster, it's just too early to tell. Still, based on Taika's past output, I have concerns. A few years back, Taika Waititi was announced as the director for Alejandro Jodorowsky's Incal. And yes, that would be the Jodorowsky of Jodorowsky's Dune fame, who even did a video on how excited he was for that project. That Taika Waititi project, I mean. But alas, 4 years later, nothing has come of it, which is a great shame, because I do believe Taika Waititi would be the perfect director for the Incal. For Judge Dredd, however, I am unconvinced that Taika is the right person for the job. At this point in time though, there is technically no Judge Dredd project in development, only a gleam in the eyes of Taika Waititi and writer Drew Pearce. So for now, let's see if anyone in Hollywood is excited about the package they offer, and if so, who picks it up. We'll keep you up to date on this as it develops, so to make sure you don't miss out on future updates, please subscribe and check that you are indeed still subscribed, and ensure you are set up to receive notifications. Also, like this video and help share it, and finally, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments.